You finally lie down. The room is quiet, your body is tired, and then your mind turns on. Suddenly you're replaying conversations you had years ago. Things you shouldn't even care about anymore. Mistakes, regrets, things you said, things you didn't say. Imaginary futures that haven't happened yet. And worst-case scenarios that feel strangely urgent at 2 in the morning. And the question becomes unavoidable. Why does this only happen when I'm trying to sleep? The answer isn't that you're broken, and it isn't that your brain is malfunctioning. It's actually doing exactly what it was built to do. When you stop moving and the lights go out, and when there's nothing left to respond to, your brain switches into its default mode. During the day, your attention is pulled outward. Work, responsibilities, screens, and whatever else you give your attention to. But at night, all of that disappears. And when the outside world goes quiet, your mind turns inward. This is the moment when the brain starts reviewing, processing, and sorting through unfinished business. It's why memories replay, why your mind jumps backwards and forwards through time, why you suddenly remember something embarrassing from 10 years ago, or feel anxious about something that hasn't even happened yet. Your brain uses quiet moments to consolidate memory, to stitch experiences together, to decide what mattered and what didn't. And lying in bed is one of the quietest states you ever enter. So your mind begins to replay, but there's a problem. The brain doesn't just replay neutral memories. It prioritizes emotional ones, anything unresolved, anything painful, anything tied to fear, shame, regret, or uncertainty. Those memories carry weight, and the emotional part of your brain doesn't know it's bedtime. It only knows this feels important, so it keeps resurfacing it again and again and again. This is where overthinking turns into something heavier, because once the replay starts, the body reacts, your heart rate increases, your nervous system wakes up, stress hormones creep in. Sleep requires letting go. But your brain thinks it needs to stay alert. And the more you notice that you're awake, the more pressure you feel to fall asleep, the more your thoughts accelerate. Now you're not just thinking, you're thinking about thinking. You're worrying about not sleeping, worrying about tomorrow, worrying about how tired you'll be, worrying about why this always happens, and that loop feeds itself. This is why nights are so hard for people with anxiety. Anxiety is future-focused by nature. It scans for threats. It asks, what if? And at night, with no distractions, those questions get louder. Depression does something similar, but backwards. Instead of what if, it asks why. Why did I do that? Why didn't I do more? Why am I like this? Rumination thrives in the dark, and for some people, intrusive thoughts appear. Unwanted images, sudden memories, thoughts that feel alien or disturbing. Not because you want them, but because the mind, when unoccupied, pulls material from deep storage. And the more you try to force the thoughts away, the stronger they become. This is the part most people get wrong. They think sleep requires silence, so they fight their thoughts. They tense up. They try to shut the mind down. But the brain doesn't respond well to force. Trying not to think is still thinking. What actually helps is changing your relationship to the thoughts. Research shows that people who sleep better aren't the ones with fewer thoughts. They're the ones who don't engage with them. They notice the thought and let it pass. not analyzing it, not arguing with it, not judging themselves for having it, just acknowledging, there's my mind doing its thing. Mindfulness isn't about clearing your head. It's about not getting dragged into the replay. When you stop feeding the thought with fear or urgency, your nervous system begins to settle. And once the body relaxes, sleep can finally arrive on its own. Because sleep isn't something you do, it's something that happens when you stop trying.